So week 14, lesson 5 is on something called Cramer's rule. For those of you that had me last year for Algebra 2 honors, you learned about matrices. And so this will be slight review. You might remember Cramer's rule. If you didn't have me, the matrices might seem brand new to you. I will try to take this slow, but again, I'm available for help in Zoom or in person, so don't be afraid to ask. Okay, so you are going to be given in this particular lesson, you are going to be given a system of equations. Okay, so that's what you're seeing up here, a system of equations, and we're trying to solve it using Cramer's rule. Okay, now I know you have other ways to solve this. You could graph it, you could do linear combination, maybe you'll do substitution. I mean, there are other ways to solve a system. This is just a very cool way to solve a system. So let me do a little bit of highlighting so you can see some of the connections here. All right, A and C are the coefficients in front of the x's. Okay, and notice over here in these formulas that they occur down here, up here, and right here. Okay, and then B and D are the coefficients in front of the y's, which appear in this formula here and here and here. And then lastly, E and F are the constants. They're the numbers that don't have a letter on them at all. And they appear in this formula here and here. Okay, so probably the biggest hurdle is going to be getting the right numbers in the right spots. Okay, because if you can do that, then these become really easy. To simplify, and I'm only going to circle one of them. There are 4 of these, all right? It's called just a teeny tiny little 2x2 matrix. It's actually a determinant. And to solve it, you just have to multiply down. Sorry, that should be a black pen. Here we go. Down and subtract the up. Okay, so it's going to be multiply down, subtract what you get when you multiply up. Down minus up. Okay, so let's do an easy one and then get progressively harder. Okay, so hopefully you've got the notes written out sort of next to you somewhere, and you'll know that x is going to equal one determinant over another determinant. Okay, now, and y, in fact, let's see if I can squeeze it in over here. Y is a determinant over a determinant. Now, this one, sorry about that, I'm delayed here. This and this are going to be exactly the same. Okay, they're exactly the same. So let's fill that one in first, because that determinant is literally just filled in with the coefficients, the 2, the 1, the -3, and the 5. 2, 1, -3, 5. Okay. And then on the top of the x1, right, if you're trying to remember what goes where, these constants are going to take the place of the x's coordinates. So this is going to be a 9 and a -2, but the y's will stay the same. Okay, and on the y1, the x's will stay the same, but the y coefficient will be replaced with the constants. All right, so now to simplify these, we just multiply down and subtract the multiplication up. So this is 39. Down here is 10 minus up, which is -3, gives you 13. And that simplifies to be 3. The x coordinate is 3. Okay, for the y, again, down minus up, this is -13. And this one we already did. We just did that right there. I'm not going to do that calculation again. I already know what it is. So the y value is -13 over 13, or -1. And as before, you're going to want your ordered pair to be, or excuse me, your answer to be an ordered pair. So 3, -1. Okay, so here's example 2. Again, I'm going to solve this with Cramer's rule because it says to. And I'm going to do the x all together first, and then I'll do the y. Okay, so for the x coordinate up top, I'm going to replace the x coefficients with the constants, -1/9 and 1. And then the denominator is 1/6, -1/9, 1 and 1. And when I do the down minus the up, all right, down is 0 minus the up, which is 1/59, -15/9. And then on the denominator, down is 1/6 minus the up, which is -1/9. And this may require a calculator, I don't know. Depends on how comfortable you feel with fractions, but this all simplifies to be 6. And now let's do the y. So I'll have a determinant over a determinant. I'm totally okay with you not writing this one in if you've already written it in up above. Right, so I know this denominator is going to be 1/6 plus 1/9. I don't need to refill that in. So as far as the y, I'll have 1/6 and 1, and then over here I'll have 0 and 15. So it's the down 1/6 times 15, so 15/6 minus the up, but that's 0. And again, handy dandy calculator might help you here. You get 9. Don't forget to state your answer as an ordered pair, 6, 9. All right, so now let's move on to the last example. Okay, so this is where you start to see this in sort of a honors level, because the coefficients for the x's, let me see if I can do some highlighting. Coefficients for the x's are 3 and 1 minus I. Coefficients for the y's are 2i and -1. And then the constants over here involve some i's. Okay, so again, don't let it freak you out. Take it slow, right? There's no points for going fast. There's just points for being accurate. So let's do the x. Okay, and I'm going to leave it open just because it takes me a little bit of writing. Okay, so for the x coordinate, I have to replace the stuff that's highlighted in pink has to be replaced with the stuff highlighted in purple. And then the yellows get put in here. And in the denominator, I'll just have yellows, or pinks and yellows. Okay, so now that I have that written in, I should be able to do the down minus the up, right? The multiplication and the addition. So here we go. Starting up on top. So this is going to be down when I multiply, minus the up, 2i squared. Okay, so I'm going to have to simplify that a little, but that's okay. And then the denominator here, this is down minus up. Okay, so when I distribute, I get 2i minus 2i squared. Okay, so let's simplify some of this. This becomes positive 2. So when I combine that, I have -3 minus 7i. And then the denominator, let's see, I have to distribute. And this is a positive 2. So when I distribute, that's a -2. So I have -5 minus 2i. Okay, that is what x equals. You don't have to rationalize, right? Just go ahead and leave it in that form, but that's what x equals. Okay, now I'm hoping you wrote this down because I have to erase a whole bunch of stuff that's on the screen to be able to fit y, right? I just can't fit it all. It's a lot of writing. So here we go. Let me erase. I'll be right back. Ta-da! Okay, so for the y, I'm going to keep the pink, and I'm going to change the yellow to purple. Okay, and the denominator I don't need to do again, right? I've already multiplied, I've done the down minus up, it's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and write it in as -5 minus 2i, because I already did it. Okay, so now let's just do the top. So down minus up. Oh, okay, now that one has to be FOILed. Okay, so let's see, first, outer, inner, last. Okay, so let's simplify this a little. This becomes +7. So with that, 5 becomes 12. And putting those two together, because they're like, is +2i. And then I have to distribute the negative and combine like terms. So let's see. I get -12 plus I, and then this just comes all the way over. -5 minus 2i. All right, and that's it. And I've only given you 2 problems to do. And you do have to do them with Cramer's rule. All right, I look at every assignment. If you try to do it some other way, I will mark it wrong and make you go back and do Cramer's rule.